Welcome back to the TechMoto channel. This is the fourth video in the Jarvis series. In this video we will explore some basic Python techniques you will need to move through modules, and we will explain how each video will help to advance your final program. This video will introduce you to your first piece of Jarvis code, which will be how to make Jarvis speak in this voice, and others. Let's get started. Open up the Atom software and load up Jarvis.py. One of the first things we need to discuss is libraries. These are chunks of code, written by someone else, that we can call upon to do something for us. For speech we need to install a library called python-tts-x3. This is a short way of saying Python, text-to-speech. To load a library into our Jarvis program we enter, import python-tts-x3. Take note that the word import changes color, as this is a recognized Python term. The next thing we need to do is actually download this library, as we do not currently have it on our computer. We do this from the command prompt using a piece of software called pip. This software comes with Python, and is therefore already installed. Press the Windows key, and type cmd, to access the command prompt. Then type pip install, and then the name of the library you require. In this instance it is python-tts-x3. The computer will then show you the download process. When it says complete, you now have that library stored on your computer, and your code can now import it. For future reference, whenever we add something new, by typing import in our code, you may have to install it before it will work. Next, we need to talk about functions. We will be using functions for most of our modules in this series on YouTube. A function, in Python, is simply a chunk of code that you can call upon over and over again. I like to think of it as a subprogram. The program will not action this code unless you call it in your main program. Let's try an example. To define a new function you use the syntax, def. You then give it a name. This can be anything you like, as long as it is not a recognized word already used by Python. If it is you will know, as it will change color. For example, if I use the word import, it goes purple. For this example I will call my function hello. You then add an open parenthesis, and a closed parenthesis, followed by a colon. Once you have defined a function, you can add what you want it to do, when it is called. One thing to note here, the following line of code is indented. This is really important in Python. We are going to add a familiar line of code to our function, which prints, hello world. Now let's run this program. You will see that it does nothing. This is because we have not called the function. So in our main program, we call the function, by just typing the function name, followed by parenthesis. Now, let's run it again. Success. The program has run. Now let's add another function, called goodbye. In the main code we will call hello and goodbye randomly, to show how it works. Let's run this. You can see that these functions are called. By adding functions, as we develop our voice assistant, we can call upon functionality whenever we need to. Okay, example over. Let's write our first function for Jarvis. So, we will call our function speak. So, def speak, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, colon. On a new line, we indent our text and we enter a rate for our speech. The standard rate for our speech is 100, but we can change that later, if we wish. On a new line we then define the word, engine, as a command to initialize python-tts-x3, we imported earlier. We then define the word, voices to ascertain which voice we want to use. Next we need to set our voice parameters. By changing the number 0, in this line you can change the sex of the voice from male to female. 0 is male and 1 is female. You can then change the rate of the voice in the next line, by altering the number in orange. My code here takes the standard rate which we set as 100 and adds 50 to it, making our rate 150. This is personal preference and you can play with this, to get it right. On the next line we ask Python to say the text out loud. Note the variable text in this line of code, which we can draw in when we run the function in our main program. This can be done by adding the variable text into the function name parenthesis, like this. The function then waits until it has finished speaking before ending this function and returning to the main program, where it left off. The last thing we need to do, is call our function in the main program. We use the function name, speak, open parenthesis, and then speech marks, whatever we want Jarvis to say, speech marks and close parenthesis. This calls the function speak. It replaces the variable, text, with what we have entered into the parenthesis, and then runs the function. If we add a second line of code, in the main program, with a different piece of text, this will run in sequence. We can do this as many times as we like. If you wish to change the voice to a different accent or language, then this can be done in your Windows speech settings. Simply open speech properties in Windows, to change or install new voices. So, that is it for this one. You have written your first function, and have made a start on your voice assistant. Congratulations! In the next video we will explore speech recognition, and understanding what you say, so an appropriate response can be given. Please do subscribe, like this video and hit the bell icon for notifications. Have a great day, see you soon.